Good afternoon, folks. We are live and up and running once again. Let me get everything flipped over to the right layout and we will kick off today's drawing stream. Alright, I'm going to leave the background music there. Folks, let me know if I need to tweak it. How's everybody doing? I see Dr. Liam's here. Dr. Liam says I feel violent. Well, don't point that at me. I didn't do anything. But good to see you. Glad you could tune in and hang out with us, Dr. Liam. I was getting a couple things prepared before the stream, so that's why it took me a little bit to get everything loaded up. But I think we are good. Dr. Liam says, give me ideas. I need to feast on your brain juices. I even brought a straw. Okay, what kind of ideas do you need? Unless you're talking about our exercise for today, which that may also be something that you can take advantage of. So what are we doing? We've been doing kind of a mix of concept, sketch design, brainstorming sessions, but we haven't done characters in a while. I think the last time I did one of these, we did more horror drawings. So we're going back to characters, but we're going to adopt the methodology from the book of the Plups School of Design, and we're going to be using these chibi bases to simplify the designs a bit, but see how many we can come up with when it comes to designing characters from the ongoing universe of fiction that I work on. The idea being, in this format, we can work at a slightly more simple format, but still try and capture some of the essential ideas and design concepts when it comes to characters and outfits specifically. I am going to do something a little bit different today. If we look back to previous sessions when we were doing the head-on sketches, and we did have hair for some of these, and we didn't have hair for some of these other ones. I am going to do fully sketched out character designs, so I'm going to add the faces too, just to get some more practice with that as well. So this should be interesting. Dr. Liam says, you're unaware. Good. It's all coming together. Are you planning on stealing my characters? These OCs do not steal. Planning on stealing them? Okay. I have something that's not really going to be... Dr. Liam says, you know the feeling of lack of brain juice. Hey, I never claimed that I would be a good source of brain juice. I am in fact very old. So if you want old man brain juice, then your mileage may vary. Okay. So what I've done to give me kind of a challenge today is I have the different races from the universe of fiction, which we've never really talked about what they're called. Doesn't really matter for the sake of concept design. But there's 11 of them. And so I'm going to roll a number from 1 to 11, and then I've got a little crosswalk on my other screen here about what the numbers mean, so that every time I do a new one, I'll re-roll the dice and see which one I should be drawing. That way I can jump between different ideas and different concepts. Alright. Okay, got the first one. So we will start over here. Oh, my sketch pen needs to be darker. That's better. So we're doing this in kind of sketch format, and just like the previous concepts, we'll see how many we can get through today, testing different design ideas. Dr. William asks, what were the 1960s like? It was a time of great social upheaval. Specifically, things like the hippie movement. At least in this country. Dr. William asked, what were the 1800s like? Did you get to see a king die? Hey now, maybe old, but I wasn't around in the 1800s. Alright, we're gonna go for kind of a more shorter hairstyle with long bangs. Middle parted. Dr. William says, also Wazzy told me to infest others with worms. You now have worms in your body. What kind? I don't want any... Well, I was gonna say heartworms, but I don't want any that are gonna screw with my digestion. Oh, flesh-eating worms. Great. I'm gonna send you my medical bill. Dr. William asks, is that Sasuke? It does kind of look like Sasuke. Here. Let's go asymmetrical length on the parted middle bangs. This character wouldn't have black hair. This particular race's hair usually varies from... I think I still have it here. Talk about color palettes. Nope, didn't do one for this one. Alright, well, hair color for this particular race varies from different shades of kind of reds, tans, browns, maybe lighter, darker orange, but not black. Black would be very uncommon. Green, not as common, this particular race. I think we'll go armor for this one. Just like our previous exercises with drawing characters, we're going to kind of switch between clothing concepts and functional armor concepts. Dr. Liam says elongate your spinal cord so the worms can reach your brain. Look, man, I don't want to end up like RFK. Although, I guess if I did, that means I could get an elected position within the US government. Not that I want one. Okay, we're gonna go for kind of like a shell-like armor. Just to give a little bit of context, even though the names of the races don't really matter, these are the bug people. So you're gonna see a lot of kind of insect shell-like motifs and themes in the armor, like a carapace. Dr. Loom says nobody wants to be John F. Kennedy. Well, no, he's dead. But I definitely don't want to be RFK Jr. Oh, that wasn't a typo? Okay. If you say so. Okay, we'll keep the hands simplified. We'll do ball hands. That doesn't really matter for these. Dr. Liam says, on an unrelated note, let's say, to save the world, you had to boil 3 hamsters, but they're evil. The question is, how many apples does Sally have? Based on all information presented, I would say 3 ounces. That's just my best educated guess, though. I'm not a physicist. Just out of curiosity, Dr. Liam, what are you a doctor in? What is your area of expertise? You can't specialize in malpractice. You would never get an actual doctorate if you did that. I see. Surgical improv. Is that kind of like when someone goes in for an appendix removal, they wake up with breast implants? You just kind of freestyle it. I see. I'm sure the insurance companies love you. Actually, it says I put the implants on their head to make them look like they have orb horns. Hey, some people do that intentionally. Body mod scene's wild. Now, do you own your own practice, Dr. Liam? Or are you working at like a hospital or something? Oh, okay, so you're more like a freelance mercenary doctor. Which, I don't know if that's actually a thing, but it wouldn't surprise me. Okay, we're doing kind of like heavier protective fatigues on the legs. And these are kind of armored bands. They're not connected to the waist piece here. but they're secured around the legs, kind of like a upper quad protection. Do these kind of armored boots or shoes protecting the feet. See, I definitely believe you, Dr. Liam, but I don't know if I'd recommend confessing that stuff on a public broadcast. That's could be used as evidence in court. Even if the people that are hunting you don't actively use Twitch, a judge could order a deposition of public records and ask that the Twitch VOD archives, the YouTube VOD archives be submitted to the court for evidence. As long as it exists, it's incriminating. They question me, I'm just gonna plead the fifth. Scale the head down just a little bit. Have to fix that on the primary too. Dr. Liam asks, "Hey Raku, unrelated question. Can you rub your prints all over this gun for me? I don't have fingerprints. I'm an alien." That in this human form that I use whenever I'm here didn't come with fingerprints. think I said I was going to go shorter on this side. Alright, heading out. Dr. Liam. Well, thanks for tuning in and hanging out. Just a reminder, I'll mention it again later on stream for folks who might swing through. I will be probably doing this for maybe another hour or so. Hour and a half. And then later in the evening, 5:30 Pacific, I will be on Wazi's channel, and we're going to be playing Mecha Chameleon. So, watching all of us destroy our friendships further than last week sounds like fun. And or you have the game and want to join, then feel free to stop on by her channel. I'm sure it'll be a good time. I've never played that game. I'm going in cold. Dr. Liam says I'm also leaving you with a gift. It's not more flesh-eating worms, is it? I don't need any more of those. More worms. Oh. Hopefully they're not as invasive as the flesh-eating ones. How about earthworms? I can use earthworms for my garden. That's practical. No, that's why. Scaling it slightly offset the plane. I'll fix that. That's gonna mess me up later. The central part's slightly off to the side now. Doesn't have to be exact. All right. Design 1. Let's save our progress. I'm terrible at remembering to save my progress. And we're going to re-roll again. So if I get the same number, I'll re-roll it. So we're not doing back-to-back. All right, what we got? Okay. Let's alternate between the male and female models too. Go for more angular shaped eyes and a little more stoic, serious expression. Now the hair is one of the key design elements here. This is the race that has the kind of thick, spiky looking hair. So let's see how we're going to realize that. Maybe we could see what we did on previous ones. If we did a design for this particular race. Let's take a look. I honestly don't remember. Nope. And these ones didn't have hair. Okay. Guess I can come up with whatever I want. That'll do. Kind of like swept forward, shorter hair. Shorter, spikier hair. You do a sort of long flowing coat. This particular race likes kind of draping, covering, coat-like garments. Not really robes, but similar in design. Same kind of vibe. It's kind of like a bound sash around the waist. I guess we can go for a longer length. Maybe go down to about there, kind of like a, not a dress, it's more like a long travel coat. Head's a little bit too big on this one too. I'll have to fix the primary and scale it a little bit. That'll work. I'll do the same thing in the primary. Put some character markings or decoration coat like we've done before. These are kind of like low top shoes. Just casual walking street shoes. Nothing too fancy, nothing as armored as like the combat outfits, more like armored boots. We'll go symmetrical. The sleeve will match the other one. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this one. We'll kind of do side by side just to kind of compare the proportions more than anything else. Okay, not a bad start. Guess we'll see, since this is a bit more detailed with things like adding in all the facial features and whatnot, and then some of the other sketch ones I've done. We'll see how many we get through. Save. And we'll re-roll for another one. Okay. We go back to armor. Go more of an angular jawline for this one. This is a particular race that has horns. So like I mentioned, for armor, this particular race has kind of, I guess the best description would be like techno armor. Kind of takes ideas and inspiration from older and medievalish style armor, but has integrated technology things that augments how it functions. So it's not just like old plate mail. It's very futuristic. Trying to think of how I want to do this midsection guard, not make it look like the other armor piece we did. Do the shoulder pads for this one. Not too crazy. Like pauldron guards. Now we can go back to the kind of armored boots, shoes. Ooh, first spot of the day. Surprised it took this long. Yeah, first time chat from Vivinf. How do you say your name? Please let me know if I'm saying your name incorrectly. Asking, you want a superpower? I can give you a random one if you want. Sure, I'll take a superpower. As long as it doesn't have some sort of terrible price that comes with it. Also, welcome to the drawing stream where we experiment around with ideas and occasionally get things done. Eden says, congratulations, you now glow faintly whenever someone calls her name. Not the most practical, but I guess that's a neat party trick. Wait, so if I was performing on stage and a bunch of people were shouting my name, would it pulse or would it just be a constant glow? I need to know the limitations of said bestowed powers. Constant glow, gotcha. Can I change the color? What color is it? These are the important questions. Ooh, can I control the glow? The color of the glow? Yeah, that would be neat. Ah, I see. He says, am I saying your name right? It's a golden glow. You can train for intensity and color. I see. So default color is gold. And if I develop that power, I can make it brighter or change its color. All right, I'll take that. Yep. That'll save me on lighting effects. Also, clarification. How close proximity does it have to be for someone to call my name? Is it earshot? Is it anywhere in the world? If someone calls my name in another time zone, does it work? Or do I have to be able to hear them in order for that to trigger? Earshot. Okay. Also good to know. Even fast. Is there a story for these drawings, or are you just doodling? Ah, good question, since this is your first time tuning in. I occasionally do concept work for a universe of fiction that I've been writing for a very long time. I like coming up with character ideas and specifically costume outfit designs. So sometimes we do stuff like that here on the art streams, just to give you kind of the elevator pitch for what I do here. I do a mix of things here on my channel. Sometimes we do drawing streams, we do concept development, sometimes we do gaming. In fact, majority of the stuff I do is gaming. And sometimes we do music streams where I talk about beatboxing and with my community, and we collectively brainstorm ideas for music. I do royalty-free assets for content creators like music, royalty-free songs that people can use on streaming, YouTube, and etc. And sometimes we brainstorm ideas for those BGM tracks on stream. All right, let me pull up one of my other files. This is not the only type of stuff that I draw. I'll show you what we were working on last time if you're curious. All right, don't pay attention to that one. Yeah, this is the first one we did. I've been experimenting with this new kind of flat two-dimensional style for doing like horror and creature design. So this was a Hydra we did. A lot of monster and creature design in general. That's my kind of forte versus drawing like humanoid anime manga characters. I'm trying to get better at that. But this style I've only been doing for maybe about a year and testing it out. These two are from the last session, like a month ago maybe. Oh, thanks. I'm still learning how to kind of adapt the style, but horror and creature stuff is fun. Oh, where's the bee? I don't know what I'm going to do with these, so I just draw them and see what designs kind of pop into my brain. But since we did that for a few streams, I wanted to do some character-based sketching today. I might do something with these concept sketches. Maybe I'll pick some to draw in like a fully inked and rendered format, like a finalized version. For right now, we're just sketching out ideas. Vivan Bask is making royalty-free music like charity. Is there any benefit that comes to you other than exposure? That's a good question. Let's see. What's the command? My stuff is available on YouTube, Spotify, and Tidal for streaming. But the basic answer to your question is, when I first started as a VTuber in 2021, I wanted to put a lot of background music for my content, stuff that I was doing, whether it was on stream or YouTube videos, whatever. And I got really annoyed with the copyright system always flagging stuff that I wanted to use. And so I decided to integrate it into my content to build out a library that I could use and not get in trouble. And then I figured, since I'm making this stuff, I might as well just share it so other people can use it too. So the only real benefit is that the resources are out there. I don't make money off of any of my music. I don't qualify for monetization on any platform. So it's just out there for people to use so they don't run into the same headaches that I ran into just trying to, add music to content. I also just want to get better at it. Alright, let's save our progress. Oh, you can see them. It might be hard to see because the primary is underneath, but these are the ones we've done so far on stream today. Been alternating between male and female models. The music stuff actually started with just doing like recorded beatbox stuff initially, and then when I started learning how to use the RC505 Mark I loop station and I acquired a secondhand synthesizer, I hooked it up to the loop station, and that's primarily what I use to record music. So if you were to look up my stuff on Spotify, the early stuff is all like kind of recorded beatbox loops, and then after that it's actual recorded electronic instrument stuff, which again I'm still learning, but over time I feel like the stuff that I've been releasing has gotten more refined, but I've got a long way to go because I'm not a classically trained musician by any means, so I'm just learning. Alright, let's roll another one. Eventually we're going to get to the point where it's going to start repeating, but... Alright, that one came up already. That one did not. This will be number 4. Hey, we got a stretch and a hydrate from Zukito Kasen. I do not recognize your name. I don't know if you're new or if I've met you before, but hydration is important. Yeah, it doesn't say first time chat. Are you one of our community members that changed your name? Alright, what kind of eyes do we want to put on this one? Maybe we go a triangular. Larger, but triangular. Okay, now hair. Maybe we do longer for this one. Done a lot of short hairstyles. Do a ponytail for this one. Particular mark frequently found on the cheeks of these particular people. That's kind of like a genetic unique trait for them. It's like a runic mark, runic birthmark. Alright, for this one, let's go armor again, since we haven't done an armor one for the female characters, female model. This particular design is going to have a bit more asymmetry than some of the other ones we've done so far. Okay, we'll add some patterning on the armor chest piece here. The reason why I'm not talking a ton here is I'm thinking about what I want to add to the design, because I feel like I haven't done armor for this particular race in a while. It's usually clothing that we draw. Let's check the previous sets, and I might be wrong. Nope, none of these. This one in the lower left. This is more like casual wear. Same race though. Kind of cut off vest and shorts. But that's not armor. That's just regular clothing. Okay. Okay, idea here would be armored upper leg guards. Sort of high boots. I might have to dig into my archives at some point and pull out some armor designs for this particular race. Of all of them, this is the one where I'm kind of blanking on what some of the normal armor concepts are. I guess we need to do this more often. might be a little hard to see because there's no color, but the idea is that this character doesn't have any bare skin exposed on her body. Down here, this section and this section would be like an armored bodysuit. It wouldn't make sense to have this armor on the shoulders and the torso and everywhere else, and then just have these big gaps of skin. That wouldn't work. It wouldn't be practical. Alright, let's save our progress. And let's compare. Getting a little bit faster with these. The first couple seemed like they took longer. Alright, so we've completed 4 of them. I think what I'd like to do, let me hide these for a sec. I'm going to set up something for when we work on this in the future. On the primary. We may have to scale down the front-facing ones at some point. That's fine. But I want to create a copy of these, and we're going to just flip them so that we can have some right-facing ones. It's the exact same poses, just mirrored. Maybe after we complete a full set of 11 facing the left, then the next time we start working on a set of concepts, we'll do them facing the right. That way we have more than one perspective. Oh, that's weird. I was just looking at my OBS readout, and because that one person, Zukido Kasen, their technically first message was a highlight, it didn't post in my actual stream chat window that it was a first time message, but it did in OBS. So I guess that person was new. Just stopped by to say stretch and hydrate. Guess I'll have to check both places if I ever see a message from someone I don't recognize. Alright, I was thinking maybe we do one more, but I might call the stream a little bit early so I can go and get some stuff set up for the upcoming collab, which again is going to be in about an hour and a half on Wazi's channel, 5:30 Pacific time based on my schedule. And so we'll call this a slightly shorter but productive session. I would like to do this again with this format, and I might work on it offline as well. But this was a good way to get a bunch of designs out. We did 4, which might not seem like a lot, but at that level of detail, I don't really have any complaints. These are pretty much ready to be inked and colored if I decide to do that down the road. So let me go ahead and do one more save, and let's see who's online that we can raid. Oh yeah, Mycelia's online. I haven't seen her online in a bit. Looks like they're playing... Oh, Helldivers 2. Alright, let's go raid Mushroom Queen. See how things are going over there. So let me go ahead and pause this. And we'll go to outro. And we'll wrap up for today. There will be a schedule next week. I know my schedule's been kind of stupid lately because of work, but I do have a dedicated day during the week. Actually 2, because it's a holiday here in the States. So most likely it'll be Tuesday and Friday and one weekend day. I will figure that out, and I'll post the schedule in the usual spots in the community Discord and on Twitter and Blue Sky. But in the meantime, thanks for everyone coming by and hanging out. Hope everybody has a good rest of your morning, day, or evening. And I will see you folks soon over on the Toxicure channel on Wazi's stream for Mecha Chameleon. Well, that should be a good time. Till then, have a good one. I'll catch you later.